today marks 1 month since the FBI's raid on former President Trump's Mar-a-Lago residence, and we're entering a new phase of this case now, the one where the DOJ wants to score a preemptive strike in the court of public opinion. Even Fox News is playing along with this game. It seems to want its viewers to think that Trump was trying to sell secret U.S. documents to the Russians or maybe even the Saudis.
Did former President Trump try to share the highly classified material to the Russians or to the Saudis or others?
Whatever happened to the Republican Party backing the blue, and in particular the 35 members of law enforcement, federal law enforcement at the FBI?
Now, that was Steve Doocy on Fox and Friends talking to Steve Scalise about the raid at Mar-a-Lago and the questions that were being asked about the FBI and their credibility. Also, Fox News host Bret Baier took aim at President Trump after the raid, rejecting the former president's claim that ex-President Barack Obama had mishandled presidential documents as well.
But there is a process. President Obama, according to NARA in that statement, and everything we know, followed all of the processes to get those documents to Chicago.
Now, the issue here, of course, is what the DOJ wants to do is persuade everyone before there are any charges filed. They only want their side of the story out there, and the Washington Post seems all too willing to do so. Now, federal judge Eileen Cannon ruled on Monday that this special master will be appointed to review everything that was taken during the raid. The mainstream media wasting no time speculating on those findings, also wasting no time criticizing her for doing that. The Washington Post has said that an unnamed source said President Trump had documents detailing nuclear capabilities of another country. But there's, of course, nothing to back that up other than unnamed sources. And we can expect more leaks from the DOJ following this raid on Mar-a-Lago. None of them will be positive for President Trump, and of course that is by design. But it's important to step back and take a little more detailed look at why Judge Eileen Cannon has done this, putting this special master in place to try and prevent these leaks. And let's take a closer look at her ruling on this special master. It explains why. Let's welcome in now senior contributor for American Greatness, Julie Kelly, who's got a fine eye for all these details. Great to have you back with us, Julie, as always. And I was paying very close attention to your tweets this week on Judge Cannon's ruling because you always pick up stuff that I miss when I'm reading these documents. So tell us what you found in Judge Cannon's decision that really needs our focus.
So the reason why everyone is melting down about this ruling, there's nothing wrong. In fact, it's wholly appropriate. When you have a weaponized DOJ, a weaponized FBI rummaging through Donald Trump's home, stealing thousands of pieces of paper, including medical records and tax documents, wholly appropriate to have a third party vet that material to distinguish what is really possibly criminal possession of records and what is privileged information and what's personal information. So there's no reason why DOJ should oppose this or any of the legal experts, but they are. They are in a full psychotic meltdown mode. And it's not just that Judge Cannon authorized the special master, it's because her ruling revealed a number of things. Number one, she forced a government prosecutor to admit that leaks are coming out of this investigation and, of course, going to the news media. She also called out DOJ for at least 2 instances when this special filter team, the team that's supposed to go through all the records and separate out what's part of the criminal investigation and what isn't, that at least 2 occasions the investigative team got their hands on privileged documents that were then returned back to this filter team. Right then and there, she had the justification to appoint this special master. Also 500 pages of what would be attorney-client privileged records. John, as you know, the FBI stole at least 12,000 records out of Donald Trump's home on August 8th. 99% of that record, and this is the other information that came out of Judge Cannon's rulings on this over the past few weeks, 99% had nothing to do with the scope of the warrant or the subpoena. They took clothing items. They took books from Donald Trump. They took press clippings. And we saw in the one photograph a framed front cover of Time magazine. This was a pillage of his home, looking for anything that could be incriminating or embarrassing to the former president.
You also pointed out, Julie, that the DOJ is like, yeah, leaks happen, no big deal. I mean, It is a massive deal. You know, as journalists, we like leaks because they benefit us sometime, but we also understand the responsibility that comes with these leaks. And it seems like the Washington Post, maybe their fealty, their responsibility is to the DOJ to spread whatever they want to spread around. They should know better, especially based on how many times everyone got duped in the mainstream media during the Russian collusion narrative.
That's right. And John, you just hit the nail on the head. The problem and the consequence of no one being held accountable for perpetrating the biggest fraud on the American people, which was the Trump-Russia election collusion hoax, and also really disabled the first 2 years of his presidency. The fact that no journalist has been fired for publishing false stories at the Washington Post or New York Times, no editor has been fired. This only accelerated it, and this is where we are now. Judge Cannon no sooner issued her ruling saying that one of the reasons she wanted a special master is because of these leaks, that there was no way to protect Donald Trump's reputation and his protection in this investigation because investigators were leaking information. 24 hours later, the Washington Post goes to Devlin Barrett, a known DOJ mouthpiece, cut out, and they published this ridiculous story that somehow documents related to the nuclear capabilities of another country were found in Donald Trump's residence. Well, what does that mean, John? That could be a newspaper article. It could be a think tank paper that outlines, Iran's nuclear capabilities. I posted that on Twitter yesterday. It doesn't specify, but these people are masters at taking any little tidbit, sourcing it to anonymous investigators, and then spinning it to make it look like Donald Trump was doing something criminal.
Yep. Hillary Clinton goes to her friends at the FBI and says, this might be concerning to you guys. They go to the press with it. And then, a couple months later, you got Crossfire Hurricane going full tilt. Real quickly, Julie, I also wanted to ask you about this journalist out in Las Vegas, Jeff German, who's been killed by a Democrat or a guy has been arrested, accused of killing Jeff German. He's a Democratic county official out there in Las Vegas. Now, we hear so much concern about the left, about misinformation, but here we have a guy reporting the truth and then paying the ultimate consequence for it. I don't know if any Democrats are going to be expected to condemn this type of behavior, but Republicans would be asked about this.
It's really horrifying, and this is the whole idea. The idea that the right is somehow more violent and threatening and dangerous than people on the left or the Democratic Party. Evidence defies that every single day, really, and here you have another example of that. You could only imagine if the parties were reversed, how this would be consuming our social media and media coverage, but you haven't really seen it that much, but a tragedy nonetheless. And so will we hear anything from the Biden regime or Democrats about this? To your point, probably not. Probably not. But Julie, great to see you as always, and I always look forward to your work in American greatness. Talk to you soon. Thanks.
Hey guys, it's Rob Carson. September is historically the worst performing month for the stock market, so you better be ready for it. The Fed continues to aggressively raise rates, and JP Morgan is forecasting another mega rate hike September the 21st. Is that why Jamie Dimon said an economic hurricane is coming our way? Well, gold and silver have remained remarkably stable despite the Fed aggressively raising rates today. The Patriot Gold Group has a special incentive for Newsmax viewers. Huge! Now precious metals investors can enjoy the no-fee-for-life gold and silver IRA on qualifying rollovers, or enjoy free, discreet, insured shipping on all direct gold and silver purchases. Here's the number, 800-356-4470. Call 800-356-4470 today.